So I'm stuck in a room with no doors, four walls, and I can't get out. So I don't even know what that kind of a dream means.
I don't know. But we're going to get all those answers with Cindy McGill in just a few moments. By the way, the website, if you're interested, go to the website and click on the guest tab. You'll see a bio of Cindy. Plus, you'll be able to click on a link to check out her book. And her book is called "What Your Dreams Are Telling You." And these are pretty fascinating things to investigate and to learn about.
Yeah. So, all right. So we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have our guest. You're listening to Jason and JV on Beyond Reality Radio. We'll be back after this.
Okay. You've heard me talking about Scaricon, but now is the time to make your plans to attend. The celebrity guest list is being assembled, the movie premieres are being planned, the parties are being organized, and the fun is guaranteed. The next Scaricon is scheduled for June 2nd through the 4th in Springfield, Massachusetts. This is a great town that'll get even better when Scaricon arrives. For more details and to keep track of the latest info, visit the website. That's Scaricon.com. That's Scaricon.com. We'll see you there. It's Beyond Reality Radio, Jason and JV. Our telephone number is 844-687-7669. When we get into doing some real down and dirty dream analysis, feel free to call in. I know we already have some people on the line. You got to hold a little bit because we're not quite ready to do that, but we will. You're first in line, so we'll get you on when we can. But
it tends to become a long line, so
it does. Again, the number is 844-687-7669. But our guest tonight is Cindy McGill. Cindy is the author of a book that is called "What Your Dreams Are Telling You." Cindy, welcome to Beyond Reality Radio. It's great to have you on the show tonight.
Oh, thank you. It's great to be here.
Thanks for coming on. This is a great topic, and we always get a lot of people asking questions when it comes down to dreams and just what they mean. So I think we're gonna have a lot of fun tonight.
I think so too. It's just honestly, you can't go 10 feet in any direction that people aren't having really impacting dreams. So it's been a great journey for us, just learning how to kind of put another set of eyes on a dream to see what it could be telling someone, maybe that they haven't, that wasn't really clear to them when they were dreaming it.
Now, I have so many questions.
You do.
So many questions. And before we even get to the dream part of this, tell us about yourself, Cindy. And then I could ask you some specific things about some of the things that you've got your hands in. So how'd you get started in all this? When did you get interested in it? Tell us about it.
I think I've always been a dreamer. I started dreaming, I can remember as just a little girl, dreaming, that I could swim really long distances underwater and never have to come up for air. And it always intrigued me. It made me wonder. I was always looking forward, actually, to having that kind of a dream. And so it kind of followed me through my life. And I think when, I've been a spiritual type person, I was always looking for answers or truth or real identity or purpose or, what we're here for. So all of these things kind of played into beginning to interpret my own dreams, friends' dreams, and then we started taking it out, into the marketplace, into the streets, into Burning Man, into different festivals in different places. And we started realizing that we weren't the only ones dreaming. And I'm, just really, I think I would call myself a spiritual seeker. I'm someone who, I'm more in tune with the God part of me. So I do have that aspect and edge. And I wanted to find out, what's the best way, what's the purest way we can live our lives on this earth? And then what is our direction? And so in dreams, in being able to interpret people's dreams, it's not only helped me, but it's helped other people find that in their journey as well.
Now, when it comes down to interpreting dreams, how do you know that what you're telling people is accurate on what their dream means?
Well, I kind of I do listen to them talk about their dreams, and then they actually know if it's right. The dreamer is the one who knows. So I'll approach it from a perspective that I feel it's going in. I listen to what I call the one who made them, but I'll also listen to the subject matter and where they are in their life's journey. And then I begin to kind of unpack the dream. It's kind of like putting a puzzle together. And when it begins to come together as a picture form, they're the ones who say, that is right on. So I don't really tell them this is right or that's wrong. I let them decide if this is, if this is helping them or if this is right for them.
So we have about a minute before we have to jump into a break here, and that's not enough time to get into anything too deep. But you mentioned the Burning Man. Now, that's a pretty unique and interesting event. And what's your involvement with Burning Man?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, first, I'm a mother and a grandmother, so I'm not the youngest chicken out there. But we decided that we would have a theme camp at Burning Man. That particular festival is just made up. It's a community. They call it Black Rock City. And so we thought, there's a temple out at Burning Man. There's all these spiritual seekers. There's people that are looking for answers in every direction. It's about a 10-day experience of free expression lifestyle. And I thought we should just have a theme camp out there. So we did. We created one called the Freedom Lounge, and we offer dream interpretation. We offer spiritual readings. We offer, true reflections, all kinds of different things to help people. So when I found out that it was a real popular thing to do, in fact, people were needing to have their dreams interpreted, we would literally have lines of people waiting in the heat to try and get into our tent where they could get some information or some clarity on some of their dreams.
All right, well, we're going to get into all of this and a lot more. The telephone number again is 844-687-7669. The calls are lining up. Our guest is Cindy McGill. We're going to talk dreams.
Yeah, we'll be back after these messages. Now, Cindy, reading your bio and everything, I also see that you also have booths at porn conventions around the country.
I know.
Now, that has to be some crazy dreams that you hear at those.
You would actually think they would be crazy, but because of the environment, we find that some of the talent, the young people that are involved in the industry are actually dreaming dreams that pertain to their life apart from their work or apart from that environment. So it's been a really great discovery, I think, for us to walk around, be able to, I'm a mom, so I'm a lot more, I think they just embrace me a lot more. And I just really want to be able to help them to discover some parts of themselves that possibly they just haven't seen. And so it works very well at the porn conventions, at really any kind of festival that we go to. We just find very impacting dreams that people have had that they can't shake off, they can't forget, or they've had more than one time. So,
it's just mainly trying to help out everybody you can and just make contact and let everybody know you're there for them.
Right. Yeah, basically. And dreams will get us there, because we're just as excited to hear the dream as they are to tell it. And then we want to be able to say, here's what we think it could mean for you, or here's maybe some direction that could be good for you.
We have full phone lines, and we'll get to those soon. But I want to know, is there a science behind the interpretation of dreams, or is it an art form, or is there something else at play?
For me, I think that it just depends on basically who's telling us the dream. And I listen to very intently. I think that's the number one obstacle that people would have, is that I pretty much shove all of my thoughts out of my head, and then I listen intently to what they're saying so that I can kind of dream the dream with them. And when I do, it paints a picture for me. And when it paints a picture, I describe what I see, and then it begins to unpack, or it unfolds for them. And many times it has to do with their either their obstacles in their lives, or their direction in their lives, or something that they've been fearful about that would actually be something for them just to jump over that hurdle to get on with their destiny or their purpose.
Are there?
So,
no, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
Yeah, I bring it more from from, a spiritual perspective too, because I want, we are 1/3 spirit. So it makes sense that we would begin to kind of look at it from, a more spiritual perspective. And maybe that's where I'm a little different than some of the other dream interpreters out there.
Is there some kind of standard markers when it comes to interpreting dreams? For example, does a dream of flying always mean something, or does a dream of getting in an accident always mean something? Are there standards, or is everything completely different just depending on the circumstances?
I think it is different depending on circumstances. But when I'm interpreting a dream about flying, I'll always start with the fact that I think they've been given a gift. They're gifted in a way that they can see from a higher level or from another perspective. In other words, they have a bird's eye view. There's so many people that have flying dreams, and they're able to overcome obstacles, or they're able to get above troubling circumstances, and they also can view things from a different level. And usually people, if they have flying dreams, I've found are also ones that can know things before they happen. They'll know something about a friend. They'll know something about a situation or a circumstance, or about a coworker, or anything like that. They know things before they happen. So I would call it a prophetic gift, or a gift of, being able to understand the future.
Well, now, does it matter, though, how they're flying? I mean, if they're doing the Superman fly, or if they're doing breaststrokes through the air?
Mine tends to be breaststroke.
I mean, JV has this dream that he's doing breaststrokes through the air flying. Does that change?
Right? Why not?
But is that something different than somebody who's having a dream that they're doing the Superman pose?
Yeah, I mean, I think that would tell me that they're just adventurous. They just like it.
Which one? The breaststroke or the Superman pose?
Right. Yeah. Well, either one. Why not?
Right.
It's like if you've got the ability to do it, you might as well just go all out.
Yeah, but I mean, you look totally different doing a breaststroke in the air than you do the Superman pose. But all right.
Okay, we have full phone lines, so we're going to try to pepper some of these calls throughout our discussion here. So let's go to the phones and bring in Sean from North Carolina. Sean, you're on Beyond Reality Radio. Thanks for calling in.
Hello. Hi. How you guys doing?
Good. Welcome to the show.
I have a recurring dream that is absolutely horrible for me. I'm in a hotel room, and I know it's in Texas for some reason. I don't know why. I've only been to Texas one time and never had a problem in Texas. I love Texas. But I'm in a hotel room, and I wake up, and my whole hotel room is in flames.
Ooh.
And I'm coughing and gagging. I can't breathe. I run out, and I'm trying to help people get out, and nobody can see me. I rush out, and I'm trying to help people, but this man pulls me to the side and tells me that nobody can see me because I've died.
Ooh. Now, is this is something that you have frequently?
I've probably had it, I don't know, I've probably had it for a decade, and I've had it, I don't know, probably 20 times.
Wow.
Maybe.
Cindy, what do you think of that?
That's a lot of time. Yeah, well, that's an interesting dream. Hotels to me represent short stays, or places where you don't really live, and you just are there very, for a very short time. And because you're in Texas, I'm actually from Texas, so but I think that it has something to do with a place that you're not familiar with, a place that you feel is out of your control. There's flames everywhere, and you're trying to help people, and you feel I think that's your nature. I think that you're a very caring and helpful person. I think you actually have a servant kind of heart on you, and I also think that you're, because people say, well, they can't see you because you're dead. It doesn't mean that you're dead. It means that what you carry is not being recognized, or possibly you just, you're in it's just a place where you feel like I'm not being heard, or I'm not being seen, or I'm trying to help people, but I'm really not. It's not being noticed, or something. And I want to say that because it was Texas and it's not somewhere you live. I think you said you're from North Carolina. Is that right, or South Carolina? Now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you said you've been to Texas one time.
Mm-hmm.
And what gives you in the dream? Is there anything in there that gives you a real clear direction that you are in Texas?
I just know it's Texas. It's weird. And the only reason I have never even thought of going to Texas again, really, because I have some friends from high school that I know that live in Texas. I've never even thought of going there again, but I am going to Texas next year. And now I'm like, oh my goodness.
So now you're more worried that it's a premonition than a dream?
That's what I'm worried about.
No, I do not think that it is a literal dream. I don't think you're going to be in a hotel and fire's going to break out and you're not going to be able to help people. I don't think that's it. I think what it is, it's something that it's an obstacle or some sort of a thought process that you've had maybe your whole life. And I believe that you're probably going to get some freedom from that. You're not going to be stuck in a situation where you feel like you're underappreciated or unseen, and when you're trying to help, I feel like you've got, you have a big heart. That's what I see about you. And I think that you're in different places all over the place. And I just don't think it's a literal dream. I think it's something in your mindset or in your experience that has trained you to think, I'm invisible, I'm not seen, or they can't see me because I'm dead, or whatever. And I feel like you're going to come into some life. I think people are going to begin to pay attention to what you've done for them all their lives, or people that you haven't really even known, but you've helped. And I'm going to go with that simply because it's a hotel and it's a short stay. It's something that you don't live in. It's just you frequent. You go in and out, in and out. If it was a house and it was your house and it was your city, it would be a different story. But because it's a place you've been once and in a hotel and fire or something out of your control, I'm going to say that it has to do with a breakthrough coming for you.
All right. Thanks for the call, Sean from North Carolina. We appreciate that. We'll take more calls. We're going to go to break. It's Beyond Reality Radio. Jason and JV. Our telephone number is 844-687-7669. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. It is Beyond Reality Radio. Jason Hawes, JV Johnson. Thanks to everybody for listening, whether you're listening on one of the great radio stations that carry the show or online. We welcome you all, and thank you for being here.
Yeah, and if you haven't yet, make sure you head over and like Facebook.com/BeyondRealityRadio and head to BeyondRealityRadio.com. You can download the free iPhone and Android app right there where you can listen to the show from the app. You can listen to past shows, chat live during the show, and so much more, and it's all free. Or just find one of the great stations we are on across the country, listed right on BeyondRealityRadio.com under the station list.
Yeah, we had a great start to the program talking with our guest, Cindy McGill. She's a dream interpreter. Her book is What Your Dreams Are Telling You. We had a bunch of phone calls, and all of a sudden we mysteriously got abducted for a little while, but we are back, and let's bring Cindy back in the program. Cindy, thanks so much for bearing with us there. Sometimes these things are just out of our control, and we're at the mercy of whatever technologies we rely on, and that's kind of the case. But we're back, and thank you so much for holding on.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
And I think the best thing to do here is jump right back into the phones because we've had a lot of people waiting for a long time. So let's go to Mike in South Carolina. Mike, welcome to Beyond Reality Radio. Great to have you on tonight.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. Welcome to the show.
Hey, I had a couple, not really questions, but I was wondering on the percentage of people that have lucid dreaming. Like, what Cindy's thought on maybe, like, do 75% of people have lucid dreaming and they don't realize it?
So is your question...
Yeah, I think...
Go ahead, Cindy, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, lucid dreaming is a real common thing. We hear it a lot. People have the ability, once they're real connected with their dream life, they can do lucid dreaming. I don't know the statistic of how many people do. I really like just letting the dream kind of play out itself, because that way you get the pure message and you're not really controlling something in the dream. Oftentimes we tend to be in survival mode sometimes in life. And I think with lucid dreaming, we try and redirect a dream or try and make it say whatever, we want it to say, or to make our situations better. So I really don't know the percentage of people that do that, but I just kind of like to let it play out. I kind of discourage lucid dreaming a little bit, because I want to see what we end up with in the end, that we're not manipulating.
Okay, I have one more question before you guys, I'm going to let you guys go. But, I pretty much remember my dreams every single night. And
yeah.
I have sleep paralysis a lot of times, and they call it the old hag or whatever. I feel something sitting on my chest where I'm half in and out of sleep a lot. And I meet few people who kind of understand it, but I did have a dream last week to where I've been dreaming a lot about snakes, and I had a white and yellow snake in my dream. And it was kind of at the end of a tunnel, and I was by myself the whole time, which is strange. Usually in my dream, I'm surrounded by people. But I came up to like a white and yellow snake, and it was at the end of my dream. I was just wondering, is there any interpretation of that? Because when I looked it up on Google, I looked it up on a lot of things.
Yeah, and you said you had it last week?
Yeah, it was last week. It was a white and yellow snake.
Yeah, and you were in a tunnel. Usually when you have dreams where you're in a tunnel, in a cave, something like that, you're isolated. You are away from, like you said, you're usually around a lot of people. You're isolated, and a white and yellow snake probably has to do with, it's something that would present a threat to you. A caution. Yellow is usually caution or pay attention, heads up kind of thing, like a yellow light at a stoplight, and a white would be something like a false, kind of like a false purity, like something that you think, well, it looks like it could be harmless or whatever, but it's at the back of the cave with you, and I think it poses some sort of a threat. I would call this a warning dream. I would say that whatever was going on last week in your life is something about bring things out into the light, bring something out into the light that you feel like you couldn't say, you couldn't share, come out of the tunnel, come out of the cave, a place where you would be maybe subject to something, coming after you that would be, I would say, take caution, because snakes are usually lies. They're long tails. They have to do with a deceptive type thing, unless you really like snakes. If you like snakes, then it carries a different meaning. But usually snakes are not our friend. They're not the ones that come
I fear
snuggle
snakes.
up to
They're
us
the one animal I do fear. So
yeah.
Thanks for the call,
So
Mike.
it's kind of like a warning dream. I think bring some stuff out into the light. Don't feel like you don't have people around you who could support you in a situation or something that you feel like you're all alone or you're in a tunnel. Tunnels are pass through places oftentimes with trains and that kind of thing, but it's also a dark place. It's something where you don't have a lot of clarity. You have it's a dark spot.
Thanks for the call, Mike. Let's move on to Mark, who's also in South Carolina. Mark, welcome to Beyond Reality Radio. Great to have you on.
Hey, J&J, Cindy. Little thing here. My father passed away in July of last year, and we had a different relationship. He was a controlling man. I've been out of the house for years, never dreamed about him. After his passing, there's a lot of things that's come up. I mean, we still don't have a headstone because of the problems with the VA, but he's showing up in my dreams a lot, and I don't really know what. I mean, I loved him. He was my father, but like I said, he was controlling. We had some issues, and I just don't understand why he's showing up in my dreams. And I mean, I have regular dreams too, but every now and he shows up and he's, saying, "Hey, do this or this or this, whatever." I mean, it's amazing.
When he shows up in the dream, is there good communication between you, or are you still a little bit, shaky on your relationship? Or I feel like possibly, usually it's not him showing up; it's the memory of him or something that you remembered, or his influence in your life coming, and possibly there's a healing that could take place with him coming in your dreams like that. What he couldn't do on earth, he's now, the memory or what his intent was. I always think about hurting people hurt people, and it's not intentional usually. People don't really mean to hurt each other. At least I don't think they do. And I feel like when you've got a situation like you described, when he begins to show up in your dream, there's some sort of a mending or, just something that he wants to communicate to you so that you don't carry the pain or the uncertainty or the misunderstanding for the rest of your life on this earth, right?
Well, I mean, I'm still, I wasn't upset. I mean, and here's the other thing, because, the last probably 40 days of his life, he was in the hospital. And on Father's Day, we went in and see him, and we talked, and we tried to have a good Father's Day, and this, that, and the other. And we were talking about things, and he basically said, "Well, don't listen to your dumbass father," and stuff like that. But
yeah.
I mean, we were talking about. it was something about laying out. He said he put an iodine on his body, and I said, "Well, I also put, we'd lay down under a infrared lamp," and then he said, "Well, don't listen to your dumbass father." But and then a week before he died, he had a bacterium infection, or a bacteria, or he said it was pneumonia. But my mother is very calm, very mild-mannered, and that's another thing that's working with me. And it might be generating some of these dreams as well. But she would just say, "Oh, he's doing better." I said, "Well, what's going on?" And then finally I heard him in the background on her cell phone. He said, "Well, he's got pneumonia in his head and his lungs and his blood." And I said, "Well, something's going on." So we as a family went up to see him the week on a Sunday, and I spent some time with him. And then the next, it was, I think, Wednesday, on Sunday, and the next Wednesday, he passed. And my mother, the first thing she said, she goes, "You knew." I hate it, but I did.
I think it's healing and closure. The two things together. It's a healing. It's healing and it's closure for you.
Yeah.
I mean, we're connected no matter what we do or what we say to, the people that we grew up with, our parents and friends, and there's all kinds of people that can come in dream form, to send a message to us, and that kind of thing. And I feel like for you, it's healing and it's closure. It's almost like, attaboy. I think he tried in ways that he could to affirm you as a son. And I think that's probably why you're dreaming about him.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Mark. We appreciate your phone call. We don't have time to take another call before we head to break, but we do have time for a question. And I wanted to ask this one, Cindy.
Yeah.
Are there certain red flags that you would warn people to watch out for in their dreams that might have something either sinister or a harbinger of something impending that they need to address, or a health scare? Is there something in dreams that you see that you would tell people, hey, if you have this, you need to see somebody to get some help?
Yeah, I think there are some signs of warning dreams. I think that's one of the, I've got in the book 4 things we've listed, categories of dreams. I've kind of simplified it, but warning dreams are one of them. And anytime you have dreams of something of front doors, front lawns, anything front of a house, that kind of thing, it has to do with future things. Back doors have to do with past things. If you're running to something or you're exploring new territory, that has to do with your future. That has to do with things that you'll be experiencing. And if you do have, in my book, there's actually a warning dream where a young man ran out his front door across his yard and was shot and saw himself laying on the ground, dying by a gang-related shooting. And the interpretation was, this is a warning dream for you. You're in a situation, or you're hanging out with, or you're in a company with people who don't have your best interest. In fact, they could take you out. And there needs to be a complete and total instant shift of direction. In other words, begin to disconnect from the people that you're hanging out with, the gang members. And I mean, he broke down. He realized it was exactly what that was. It was a foretelling dream that said, if you don't stop now, this is your future, or it can very well be your future. And he was very thankful that he got that information, because things were getting very heated. So that story actually is in my book. So
do those types of dreams come from a process in the brain whereby maybe subconsciously you're involved in something that could be dangerous to you, or is there something more spiritual or something else at play? And we've got about a minute here.
I think it's both. I think, we're complex people. I mean, we're all put together, but we do have God, and God is going to direct us and tell us what to do. I mean, that's where my dream interpretation comes from, is from being able to say, look, God warns people in dreams. And when they don't even know it, he warns them. And so,
but then why doesn't he? Well, we don't really have enough time to answer that. But with this question, when we come back though, and think of the answer, if God gives us direction through dreams, then why most of the time can't we remember our dreams? And it doesn't.
Well, there needs to.
What?
Yeah, just place a value on them. In other words, they become a real source of important information. And the more you value them, the more you'll have.
Okay.
And you'll be able to remember them.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, more with Cindy McGill. You're listening to Jason and Jay. So also head over to facebook.com/BeyondRealityRadio. Make sure you like that page, and head over to BeyondRealityRadio.com and download the iOS or the Android app. All right, you're listening to Jason and JV on Beyond Reality Radio. We'll be back after these messages.
Welcome back to the show. It's Beyond Reality Radio with Jason and JV. We're talking with Cindy McGill. She's a dream interpreter and also an author. Her book is What Your Dreams Are Telling You. Her website is cindymcgill.com. You can also find information about Cindy on the Beyond Reality Radio website. Just go to the guest tab on the website, and you can get information there, link to the book and everything.
Yes, we try to make it nice and easy and everything right there for you. So, all right, so let's get back into this talking about dreams, because eventually we got to make sure we cover some of your dreams, JV.
Yeah, I don't know. So, but before we do any of
Can
that,
I tell you what the number one dream is?
Sure. Volcanoes?
No, it's teeth falling out.
Teeth falling out. And what's the significance of that?
I think that it means that you're in danger of swallowing something whole. You don't have anything to chew the details. Like when you don't have teeth, you're just going to gum it, but it's the number one dream. Honestly,
Wow.
We've been all over the world, and you just can't get away from it.
Interesting.
Yep, teeth falling out.
All right, let's go to the phone line again, and let's bring Joe from Indiana into the program. Joe, welcome to Beyond Reality Radio. Great to have you on.
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight?
Good. Welcome to the show.
Okay, I'm going to try to say it's long, but I'm going to try to get it in, everything that I need to get in. It might take a minute, but just have patience with me. This is really strange what happened to me through the years. Okay, my son, Justin, he was about 11 years old, and I started having this dream about whenever he was a baby. I could tell that this dream was coming on, okay, and he was 19 when he passed away, okay, and the thing is he would come down to the end of the bed after I'd fall asleep, and he'd run around the end of the bed, and I'd say, "Hey, fat boy, go back to bed," and this dream happened time and time again. It happened frequently, and then it happened for years, and till he had passed away, okay? And he took his own life, unfortunately, and then the dreams ended, and I've never had that dream again, okay? And he's been gone about 9 years.
Well,
and I'm wondering if there was a message there, and I'm wondering if there would be anything else that I could do to if something like that ever happened again. I don't understand why it happened.
Yeah. Well, first, clearly, we're very sorry for your loss. But what you're saying is you had this dream over and over prior to your son's death, and then
it started whenever he was 11 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we always, the thing is the lucid dreaming and stuff that people are talking about. That I don't know if this is the same thing, but I was able to wake myself up after this dream happened. I could feel this dream coming on before I'd fall asleep, and I'd tell my wife. And she would say, "Okay, let me see what happens," because she said I would toss and turn. Well, I got so much into this dream that I don't know if it was I was making myself repeat it, but I could actually wake myself up, and we tested it because my wife, I would tell her, I'd say, "Hey, I'm fixing to have the dream," and she said, "Okay, I'm going to watch it," and I actually yelled out her name in my dream, but it came out like the monster saying it, and then I would wake myself up, and she freaked out because she's like, you yelled my name, and you woke yourself up, and you're telling me what you did, and it was all, that dream would happen all the time, and we really got into me waking myself up and talking, yelling out her name,
Let me understand the dream itself. Again, I am very sorry for your loss, too. And so the dream itself was that your son would come and run around the end of your bed? Is that what it was?
Yes, he would come and run as a child, as a toddler. As a toddler,
Mm-hmm.
I would see his head go around the end of the bed. And I would tell him, his nickname was, I called him Fat Boy. That was just a fun nickname we had. It wasn't because he was fat. Definitely it wasn't. But I would tell him, I would say, "Hey, fat boy, go back to bed," and he'd laugh, and I could hear him laugh all the way around the end of the bed.
Right. And this started when he was about 11, but in your dream, he was just a toddler, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, beds are places of rest. They're places of intimacy too. And I feel like, I'm going to tell you what this dream tells me about you. Okay. First off, I want to remove any false guilt, from feeling like you could have done something to make the situation different. And I know you did mention that, but I feel like it brings out your father heart. And I feel like that you felt so deeply for your son, and you had such a father heart and such compassion and a real good relationship with him. And I think that it was almost like securing that relationship together. And because he was 11, I don't think you could have seen this coming. I don't think that it was anything that you would have been responsible to do. I do think, though, that you have a gift, and I think that possibly, you did know something, or you had that inclination that there was something more to this than just him running around the end of the bed. There was an investment made in your son. And, these kinds of dreams are very difficult and very hard because, you always think, and we've dealt with this before with other people who've lost children, they've lost parents or loved ones, and they've had dreams about situations, maybe not a toddler running around the end of the bed, but they've had other things that they thought, if I had only, or if I could have, or if the situation had been different. And I just think that you are such a father, and you're such a loving heart. That's what I hear coming out. And I think that this is just, one of those things that you said that the dream has stopped since then. Is that right?
It stopped the day he passed away. I've never had it. I had it the day
never had it
prior
again.
to him passing. And it stopped when we lost people. I've never had it again. Nope, never had it again. And
right.
That's why I know I couldn't do anything. By all means, that's understanding. But I just feel that was part of his passing. I don't know if there was a way. I didn't understand it. If it was just a way to keep him in my mind all them years like that, because I don't know. I don't understand it. And
I think it was just the anchor. It was like the anchor of your relationship. You were the daddy, and he was a playful little kid who was a little bit mischievous, and he would always, come in and he would come at a time when you were at a place of rest or peace, and you would be laying on the bed, and you'd bark at him, kind of, bad boy, you get back in bed. And I think, again, it just reveals to me something about your father heart. And I want to tell you that that's still there. Even though your son, may not be on the earth anymore, you still have that. And I feel like there's a possibility you'll be able to really help some of these young kids and some people like that because of the way that you were with your son. I want to extend that to you because I really feel like that, that doesn't go away. And so I feel that because the dream has stopped, there was some closure, but I believe that you still have that father heart. And there's so many young people now who definitely need some guidance and some direction and some playfulness from a man, from a father. And so.
Well, thanks. Thank you for the call, Joe. And again, our deepest condolences for your loss. Even though it was a while ago, but still, that's a pain that never goes away. We're going to quickly move on here. We do have a lot of people. We're not going to get to everyone, but this is Angela from Ohio. Angela, welcome to Beyond Reality Radio. Nice to have you on.
Hi. I had this dream recently, a day before Mother's Day. I was laying down taking a nap, and I took care of my brother who passed away in November. He had cancer, and I took care of him. And I thought this dream was really odd, and I can't make heads or tell what it means. It's like somebody told me that my brother was still alive. And next I knew it, I was in a car driving down the street. But usually I don't come that way. I always go the opposite direction. And I slowed down, and I looked at my mom's house. He lived in my mom's house. My mom passed away 4 years ago. And so he was living in it. And I just sold the house a month ago. So I looked at my mom's house, and it's like I looked in a huge bay window, which my mom doesn't have. It's all closed in. You can't see inside her house. I saw my brother sitting in my mother's chair, and that's when I woke up. But he was still sick, but he was just sitting there alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
and you were driving a car in a different direction than what you would normally go down the street. Is that correct?
Right.
Yeah. And was it the car you have now? Was it your car?
Yes, it was my car.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like windows give us insight. They give us something to look through, something that isn't walled up, and it has to do again with being able to see, because you came at the house from a different direction. So that just tells me that you've got some new direction for you to go in, and to know that your family, your brother and your mother, are okay. And that's why you had the window and you could see them sitting in the chair and they were at rest and at peace. And now you're going in a different direction, and some new things, or new horizons actually, are going to begin to open up for you. And some things maybe you haven't done before, seen before, or maybe lived before. So I just feel like that it's kind of almost a good dream. It's a dream that tells me you're moving on, and it's a present day dream because it's your car. If it was a different car or a car you don't own, it would have made a difference in the dream. Yeah.
Okay.
No, thanks for the call, Angela. We appreciate you listening and appreciate you calling in. Cindy, we're going to try to squeeze one more in, and then we're just going to be out of time.
Yeah.
It's gone by quickly. We had that little technical issue, but let's go to Carol in Arizona. Carol, welcome to Beyond Reality Radio. Great to have you on.
Hi, thank you. Okay, so I dreamed I was walking up to a newspaper box. I reached inside to a newspaper. There were only a few. They were thin. I picked up what I thought was a newspaper, but it wasn't a newspaper. It was the comics section. I think it was backwards. I unfolded it, upside down maybe too. I didn't focus on anything. I noticed that it was like a 2-page colorful spread. And then it wasn't a newspaper box. I was looking inside a mailbox. And in place of the newspaper box was this mailbox. It was blue. There were 3 packages inside, brown paper wrapping, like, mailing wrapping. And so there were 3 packages, and the top was kind of like the size of a book maybe, the one underneath maybe a little bit bigger but flatter, and then the bottom one was like the biggest and flattest.
Cool. That's a good dream, actually. You're looking for news. You're looking for a message. And I think that you have 3 messages coming to you, and 3 different, in different ways. You've got, because it turned into a mailbox. It was first a newspaper box, and it was comics. So you weren't expecting that, which tells me it's on the lighter side of things. Okay. So it was colorful, and it wasn't drab and depressing news. It was colorful, but then it turned into, you said, a mailbox, which was blue, which is typically the color of them. And then there were 3 packages. And I believe that you're getting ready to have 3 different messages, or 3 different surprises, or something good. In other words, some good information, some good surprises, or some things you haven't seen before, known before, are coming your way, and they're going to be delivered to you.
Carol, thanks. Carol, thank you for the call. We're just simply out of time. Cindy, we're going to have to let you go here, but thank you so much for spending so much time with us. And again, the book, What Your Dreams Are Telling You, it's available on the Beyond Reality Radio website, but where else can people find information about the book and you?
You can just, on my book, you can do Amazon. It is on Amazon, and it's also at Barnes & Noble, and you can also get it on my website, and it's a real easy read. It's easy to understand. There's a dream journal in the back. There's some symbolism in the back that you can also, and there's some good guidance on how to not overinterpret the dream. So it's just really, I tried to simplify it and make it easy. And there's some invention dreams and different things in there to help people unlock some secrets and things that they haven't, or possibilities they haven't really had before. So,
well, thank you so much for coming on, and we look forward to talking to you again.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a blast.
Thank you so much. Cindy McGill, her website is cindymcgill.org, and the book is What Your Dreams Are Telling You. We're going to take a quick break. We've got more when we come back.